everybody to the, got it. All right. Welcome to the President's Update for 2022. Thank you for being here. And I'd like to thank our wonderful Government Affairs Director, Kieran Shenoy, our staff, Emily, who's always wonderful and here supporting us, and of course, our CEO, Divina, the amazing and magnificent. All right. So I'd like to shout out to anybody. Please stand up if you are a new affiliate or Realtor member. Do we have any newbies in the room? And I can't see your screen because I'm sharing. So again, shout it out. Well, if you know anyone.
Andre with JVM, yeah. It's my first time.
Oh, cool. All right. Thank you for coming on. So who are you and where are you at again? I'm sorry.
I'm Andre with JVM Lending.
Wonderful. We love JVM. Yay. All right. So thank you for coming on and thank you for being a member. We are so happy to have you as a member. We love our members. All right. So this is what it's all about. It's all about you, and what we do for you is all in our core values: advocacy, engagement, professionalism, and community and leadership. And why is that there? Because that's the way we're going to handle today. First, we're going to talk about advocacy. And of course, there's no better person to talk about advocacy on your behalf than Kieran Shenoy. So Kieran, I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you, President Janine. So hi, everybody. Everybody knows who I am, hopefully, but if you don't, my name's Kieran. Like Janine said, I'm the Government Affairs Director for the Bridge Association of Realtors. And a lot of what you usually hear from me is advocacy on the local level. But for this presentation and for, to help Janine kind of talk about what we did in the legislative weeks this past month, I'm just going to give you a quick update on what we talked about both at the state and the national levels when we made our trips out to Sacramento and Washington, D.C. So in Sacramento, you guys probably all heard that we had Legislative Day. And of course, Legislative Day was a little bit different than most years. We had two legislative days, one virtual and one live. And unfortunately, the live one, there were still a lot of COVID protocols going on. And a lot of our legislators didn't want to meet with more than 5 people in the room. So we didn't do, you didn't bus people up like we did last time or in years past. But, it was still successful because realtors from across the state came out to talk to their legislators. And we had one of the most successful legislative days in terms of member lobbying efforts on both of the hot issues that we presented nearly ever. I mean, AB 2710, which is the first bullet there under this CAR title, which was statewide TOPA, got pulled by the author. Ash Kalra is an assembly member out of the South Bay. And he basically came to a meeting and said, there's too many realtors lobbying everybody across the state and, on the Capitol, and people aren't going to vote for this. So he pulled it from committee. And so that's pretty much dead for the year. So that was a huge success. And that was the number one hot issue that we were lobbying on. And then the second hot issue that we were lobbying on was a budget ask, and that was to the Senate. So Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins, who's from San Diego, and then the Senate Budget and Fiscal Committee Chair Nancy Skinner, who's our representative, on the state level, actually announced that the second phase of the Senate's Putting Wealth to Work budget proposal which would include significantly more spending for homeownership and the California Dream for All program, which is an innovative down payment assistance and equity share program for first-time home buyers, is actually getting some traction in the budget process. Of course, we don't know if all of this stuff is going to be making it through to the budget because there's a lot of negotiation that has to go on between the governor and the legislators' offices, we're not going to see what the exact number is until June 15th, which is when the constitutional deadline for the budget to get passed is. But we have some promising news on that, and we have a great advocate, Nancy Skinner, really pushing that forward. And Janine was at the meeting with us, and she saw Nancy Skinner made it out. We have Janine wasn't at that one, but Nancy Skinner did make it to our meeting, and it was great to make that ask of her. Our key contact, Helen Nicholas, who's on this call actually right now, was there, and it was great to talk to Nancy Skinner at that meeting and get her take on our ask.
I chatted her up at the Cannabis Coalition meeting at the restaurant. I don't know if I told you that, but I chatted her up outside of the norm. It was great.
Well, I'm glad that you got to talk to her with you know, in a very happy and positive setting. You know, it's always good to talk to legislators when everybody's, you know, in a better mood, so to say. But no, I think she was in a good mood when we're talking about housing too. So and we're currently in a battle to weaken the Ellis Act bill, which is something that one of the legislators is pushing forward, which is AB 2050. I think that's Lee. And so that's something that's an ongoing thing, but that red alert is going out to just a few targeted areas, not us. And then an additional success was that the statewide rent registry got pulled by our own Assembly member Buffy Wicks, who's been trying to pass that for the past 4 years, and she didn't have the support, so she pulled it. So that was a hot issue for the virtual legislative day. I'm going to go quicker, Janine, I promise. No, I have a little bit more time. Okay, because there's a lot more actually.
No, this is the most important thing. So let's keep her. And I know we're going to have questions. So do your thing.
Okay. All right. So okay. So that's CAR. That was legislative day and that week, and then we immediately got on a plane and headed out to Washington D.C. You know, for a week, and that was all about addressing priority issues for the National Association of Realtors. And so we also play a part in that, of course, and we have a representative, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, who represents our congressional district. And we took a lot of the priority issues, well, all the priority issues from the National Association of Realtors to her office to talk to her district director about it, or actually her chief of staff. Helen could probably correct me on his exact title. But again, it was a successful meeting, I think, and we talked about a number of things. And so the major things, the points that we made were, number one was inventory and supply, you know, and that's all about improving access to home ownership, increasing housing inventory, and encouraging adaptive reuse of commercial properties. So, you know, this is all intended to address the huge affordable housing shortage that we have in the country. It's not just happening here, it's happening across the nation. And NAR did a recent study that showed that there's a huge underbuilding gap. About 5.5 million housing units over the last 20 years is what we're below water on. And that translates to $4.4 trillion in underinvestment in housing. So even relatively modest steps taken now can hopefully reduce that gap and, you know, spur the economy a little bit and create a lot of jobs. And, you know, that's so important in terms of, you know, what happened through the pandemic and how it's had a stifling effect on the economy. So we need to jumpstart it, and housing, building housing is one of those areas. So we were asking, the National Association asked our representatives, and we were asking Barbara Lee's office to co-sponsor a number of bills. And one of them is a bipartisan Housing Supply and Affordability Act, which would create local housing policy grant program for cities, states, tribes, and regional associations to enact pro-housing policies at the local level. Another was to co-sponsor the bipartisan Neighborhood Homes Investment Act, which would offer tax credits to attract private investment for building and rehabilitating owner-occupied homes. And then another one was co-sponsoring the Greater Revitalization of Shopping Centers Act. And this has to do with malls, underutilized shopping malls, kind of, you know, getting those turned into perhaps housing or just revitalizing them. And then co-sponsoring the Revitalizing Downtowns Act, which creates qualified office conversion tax credit to convert unused office buildings into residential, commercial, and mixed-use properties. And so those are just a few of the bills that NAR was supporting or asking our legislators to co-sponsor, our congressional leaders, I should say. And we still have, trying to figure out what the status is on those. We're going to get some news on that from NAR. But you probably heard in the news, President Joe Biden is very much interested in ensuring that affordable housing production is ramped up, and he's taking steps towards that as well. So hopefully, our congressional leaders and the president's office can come together and start doing some real good work.
Hey,
So
Karen,
the other
we've got
thing
a
that,
question.
oh, there's a question.
Yeah, Elizabeth, what is the number of units that we're short right now?
Oh, I think it was 5.5 million units short
Nationally, yeah.
over the last 20 years. And yeah, that's nationally. The second thing that we talked about with our congressional office was ensuring fair housing for all. So, I think everybody knows that, well, maybe not everybody knows, but it's 50 years since the passage of the Fair Housing Act. And unfortunately, the home ownership rates for a lot of folks, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, continues to lag behind that of white Americans. So the National Association of Realtors wanted to co-sponsor the Housing Fairness Act, which would reauthorize increased funding for HUD fair housing testing and enforcement programs. So to make sure that everybody's playing by the rules and ensuring that, people are adhering to fair housing laws. It can't be stated any more plainly. That's so very important, especially to level the playing field and make sure everybody has an opportunity to get in through the front door. And lastly, research. We have to make sure that everybody knew that the National Association of Realtors provides a lot of research products and a lot of research and policymaking help for our congressional leaders and for folks up on other folks on Capitol Hill. And the NAR Research Department is a resource both for not only realtors, but members of Congress. And, we have, well, I say we because we're a member of the National Association of Realtors, have a lot of skilled economists that produce and analyze a wide range of data, providing the best resources, and information on real estate. And we have to make sure that congressional leaders know that NAR can provide that resource, as well as just make sure that they use them. Right? It's so important that when the congressional leaders are out there making law, that they consider not only the resources that other people are giving them and their staff are giving them, but also the vast number of resources that they have at their fingertips through the National Association of Realtors when they're considering legislation. And I'd be happy to share a link to all of those resources in just a second. So with that being said, that's it for me for the update for legislative weeks. And if you guys have a question, please, I'll be here for a bit. And back to our president, Janine. Oh, Janine, looks like you're muted. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm giving up my whole thing. The question I wanted to ask is, so many people that I'm seeing on this in this meeting, very curious in the hyper local stuff. So I'm sure questions will come to you about that, but can you touch on that? What are we looking for? What's this year? What's the rest of this year look like? Who are you talking to? What do we need to do?
All right, so I'll just go over the main folks or main jurisdictions right now, which are Berkeley and Oakland. In Berkeley, what we're looking at is a number of possible ballot measures for revenue production, and that could be in the form of a large bond, infrastructure bond, and or affordable housing bond that could possibly raise annual taxes, $50 for each $100,000 of value on your property. That has not been sorted out yet, but we're going to probably see something coming up soon on May 31st. And just kind of figuring out exactly what it's going to look like. Most of the council members are supportive of some sort of bond. To what level, is to be determined, or a number of different types of revenue production ballot measures, which includes the bond and maybe some other taxes. We have heard some rumblings from some folks and maybe even the mayor that he wants to maybe do away with golden duplexes again. You know, he revisits this like on every 2 years, you know, for whatever reason, personal or or policy reasoning that he might have for revisiting it. But so we might see something like that. Not sure just yet. And our local TOPA in Berkeley, Holly's here. She knows about it. You know, there's still advocates, pro-TOPA advocates that are pushing to try to get the city council to pass something. We know that it's probably going to be on the back burner for at least through the election cycle, because it's a bit controversial and nobody really wants to touch it. And that's mostly in part because we made it controversial and we took the issue to them, and we made sure that they knew that we weren't backing down on it. So not only us, but property owners as well. And so, you know, hopefully it stays that way. But, you know, if it does pop back up, we'll be there to meet it head on again. So that's what's going on in terms of in Berkeley right now. Just kind of quickly, Oakland, there's a mayoral campaign going on, a mayoral race going on. We'll see what happens in Oakland. You know, there are probably 3 or 4 serious candidates. There are a number of city council races that are going to be pivotal. We're also looking at the business license tax measure that was announced on Monday. You know, they came to a settlement between the Oakland Chamber of Commerce led coalition, the Labor Coalition, and the city council members that were pushing this forward to come together on some form of tax, which is going to probably be discussed tomorrow at a hearing. And, you know, if that's the case, it's a 50+1% ballot measure. And if everybody is all in on that, you know, that's going to pass, right? That's going to pass. So we were privileged enough to be part of that conversation, and you know, we talked with the Oakland Chamber a lot about what our members were worried about, and they fall into, and our members as real estate professionals fall into the business and professions bracket, and the rates are going to increase, but much more reasonably than what were initially proposed. So we'll be getting more information out to you about that in the coming couple weeks. And then, of course, in Oakland, there's going to be a rent registry similar to Berkeley's. We provided a lot of input on that recently at a community economic development meeting yesterday. So I have a meeting with some council members, had one meeting so far, another one on Friday. We're going to have coffee with one Friday morning, see what is going on.
Karen, quickly say what the rent registry is. Is every landlord required to register, or what is it?
It's going to apply to all rent controlled units. So it's basically if they're going to be asking for what's the current rent, current number of occupants, as well as a number of other pieces of information, which is yet to be determined. I mean, they're saying that they're going to have to come up with the regulations that, you know, kind of get down exactly what they're going to ask for. But
I get
basically, what was that?
I said I get the idea.
Okay. So
I didn't want to take you off track.
Okay, no problem. So that's basically what it is. And so, you know, if you don't register for the on the rent registry, then there are a number of you know, penalties, and one of the biggest ones is that, you know, it'll be a affirmative or complete defense to eviction. If you go, you know, you have to evict somebody for whatever reason, they're not paying rent, or they're causing a mayhem on the property and disturbing everybody else on the property, including the other tenants. And you go to evict them and you haven't registered your property, guess what? Your case is going to get dismissed. And that's a huge thing. I mean, so that's something that we've been advocating about just recently. And what else is going on? Oh, and there's a council member that is trying to forward a rent cap on rent controlled units above and beyond what currently is there. So they want to limit it to the lesser of either 60% CPI or 3% flat, which is lower than anything else any other jurisdiction around us has. So that's going to be problematic. And that's another topic that we were discussing with folks. So that's it for now. I think that there's probably some other things, but those are the big ones.
The biggies. Any questions? I know you have questions. Come on, gang. All right. Well, if they pop up, I would say email me, but he's smarter. This guy's smarter. So, all right. Heidi, you have anything? Heidi? You have anything? Oh, okay. Just your face popped in.
Well,
I love
Heidi
it.
can
All
always
right,
call me.
Karen.
Heidi calls me sometimes. Hi, Heidi.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, we'll get back to our. All right, so speaking of all this, anybody out there want to make a difference and be an advocate? Part of our advocacy promise to you is that we have people not only in our strong committees, but we have obviously wonderful representation, not just in our exec team, but also, of course, our government affairs director. So just want to reintroduce to some of you and introduce to you if you're newer. You know, we have all of these committees that really do sit with passion around all of these topics. So if you are at all interested, please connect with me and I can walk you through how the time commitment. That's always the question. How much time? What am I going to have to do? And really, the more people we have, the less time you're going to have to spend. And if you are at all passionate about making a difference and having a real seat, knowing what's going on, we want to support you in that part of your leadership journey. So again, Forms Committee, Housing Committee, Local Government Relations Committee, MLS Committee, and of course the Realtor Action Fund, which pays for helping to protect private property rights through the lobbying efforts of CAR, local issues, and supporting candidates in their campaigns. So check that out. Many of you, I'm sure, already donate to RAF. If you do, maybe with your closed escrows, maybe you don't know how to do that, check out the website or connect with me. I'm the chair for that particular committee. Connect with me. I'm super passionate about it because, man, we all know money is what makes things work. So again, thank you, Karen. All right, moving on. So engagement, the engagement piece is really doing everything we can in this coming out of COVID era to connect with our membership. Speaking of COVID era, man, we have all been through the ringer. And even though some of us have had some of the best years of our lives in business, personally or emotionally, some of us are really struggling. And one thing that we have seen across the board on a CAR and even NAR level, when I'm out there talking with folks, is that we know it's kind of a lonely business. We were talking about that in the committee I was just in, the committee meeting I was just in. It feels very alone sometimes when things aren't always going your way. And what I want to introduce to you that I'm super excited about is the RAW group that we're bringing to our association. And it's Realtor and Affiliate Wellness. And this isn't therapy. That's the first thing. I want to tell you what it's not therapy. But what it is complete support. And the mission is to create a fellowship for realtors and affiliates who may be struggling with the various forms of anxiety, depression, et cetera. Just be a place to just come together. And the next slide, I'll go into it a little bit more, but how I got this isn't my baby. This was created in 2019 by the Orange County Association of Realtors. And at that time, a very popular YPNer who was truly beloved took her own life because of whatever reason, it doesn't really matter. And that spurred this amazing group that I found out about when I was at CAR last year. And it was not only thought-provoking, but I could literally in my head feel how we need this in our community. So I felt very determined to bring it here. And we are the first other association to bring this on. And the hope is that we work side by side with Orange County to really spread this opportunity for us to be supported there is no better community that I've ever worked with in the realtor community. And we are very supportive of one another here at Bridge in the Oakland, Berkeley area. And that is something we are all, I know after speaking with many of you, very proud of. And so this is a way to continue that. And one of our board members, I'd like to just give her a shout out, even though she's not here, Kim Cleghorn. This is kind of her background and part of her passion. And so she's going to help me and your president-elect, Felicia Mares, bring this to the fore. And this is member run. So it is a true support group for all of our membership. And as I said, we know that this industry can be stressful. And we also all share the same stresses and burdens. And again, feeling kind of alone and sometimes even scared, especially when you're new on the scene and you can't quite figure things out. So if you're struggling with any of these things, this is a really serene, safe place where our members can help each other. Everything is confidential. And, you know, if there is a group to make this kind of thing work, I think realtors are kind of prone and primed for that. We know what it's like to keep things where they need to be, where they need to stay, and we know how to support and help each other. So I'm really excited to get this launched. So I would just like to, again, I'm gonna put you back on the other slide, invite you to join us July 22nd, which is our first meeting. It will be on Zoom. It will be, we will create a flyer here shortly and then put it on our website so you can register in advance. It's from 11 to 12. When this started, obviously it was before COVID in 2019, and it was live. And we're still gonna do Zoom until we move into that next place, which will hopefully be soon, and we can take advantage of our training room once again. So anyway, super excited about that for member engagement. Professionalism. So some of the things that we provide, you may not know, and I get a lot of questions, as you may imagine, of I don't even know where my membership dollars go. Why am I a member? Why am I paying what I'm paying? And some of that is to CAR and NAR for obvious things, but it's also all this other really valuable things that are a little behind the scenes and making, whether you realize it or not, making your life a little bit better and getting your profession off to a good start if you take advantage of it all. So just a reminder, we have Carmen Randa, who is our tech trainer and MLS trainer. Tech Tuesday, if you don't know Connect MLS yet, hey, a lot of you are hanging on to Paragon. I get it. But if you are unfamiliar with it, we have the intro to Connect, we have MLS Essentials, and we have the Tech Tuesday. We are we're, whether you realize it or not, really well known, not just on the state level, but national. Our little association, we're so proud. We're so well known in our tech and our forward thinking and the things that we bring to you. We are often on beta programs. We test things for you. We want to bring the best thing forward for you to have a really great business. And we know tech isn't going anywhere. So if we don't make friends with it now, we're probably going to be left behind. So we want to do everything we can to make you the professional, not just the present, but also the future. And so some of these classes are there for you. Realtors, a commitment to excellence. I have my C2EX designation. I can't recommend this highly enough. Now, this is an NAR platform, but you can go to our website and connect with that. It is a really eye-opening experience dealing with the code of ethics. In fact, it handles all of your code of ethics training for the time being. And it will also introduce you and walk you through a really good fair housing interactive display. So please, if you don't know about it, check it out. It makes you the professional you always wanted to be, I promise you. Code of ethics training, of course, we offer that. But again, C2EX, baby, you will get that. Okay, Pro Standards, Education and Technology Committee, and MLS and AOR support staff. Our staff is amazing. They are here. None of the staff or the exec team is here without you. So we are here to hear what you need and support you in the best possible way forward. If you have any questions about the association or MLS, just give us a call. We're here to support you. That's the job. That's the job. We want to keep them busy and keep you, you know, when I say to my agents, I'm like, if you're spending 5 minutes on tech that you don't understand, go to the source. So if you're having problems with the MLS or you don't understand how to navigate the association, especially on the association side, give us a call, or I will always say, give me a call, because I know how to navigate it really well by now. All right, just a reminder, upcoming event, the Ultimate Guide to Commercial Real Estate series. We are seeing a little bit of a shift, right, in people going from residential to commercial, trying to get ahead of it as commercial. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. I'm not a commercial agent, but it sounds kind of exciting. So tomorrow, May 26th, the final course, Building Wealth, is designed for anyone who's interested in learning how to get started in real estate investing. I know we have some investors in the room. Man, get that realtor license and be an investor. It's fantastic. Learn the calculations and formulas that investors and brokers use when locating and underwriting commercial and residential investment properties. So check it out. I'm just going to check the chat really quick. All right. That is, hi, Janine. Tell us about board activities and future leaders. P.S. You are doing about it. Oh, thank you very much, Helen. Yes, I will definitely ask me specific questions about activities and leadership, but leadership is one of those core values that I will be addressing. So registration details for anything, but for this in particular, on the Bridge website. So check it out. Community. We are all about community, are we not? Not just the job, but our particular association and the fabulous people that are here, people you work with. So Community Foundation, if you don't know it, you don't love it, I'm going to tell you, you should, because Community Foundation is one of those amazing committees that we have as a fundraising 501c3 in our association, where you can add from your closed escrows or your annual donation, or hey, come, if you, some of you were at the Spats happy hour last week with Herman Chan and Ellen Hui, and I mean, we're starting to get out there, right? We're starting to get out there in the world, but Community Foundation gives dollars every single year through grants to our local nonprofits serving people who truly need it. So please, we get rid of all of our money every year, and right now we're ramping up because grant season is upon us and we need to get our numbers up. So please check out Community Foundation, or again, connect with me and I will let you know whatever you need to know. Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. This is year 2 for us, and our wonderful Michael Bordalis and Ebony Smith are the chairs for this. This is super exciting because you all know how important this topic is. It is on fire, as it should have been many, many years ago, but hey, we're going to work it now, and it is everywhere at CAR, everywhere at NAR, and there are really wonderful people trying to make serious change. So if this is something that's really passionate for you, please consider becoming a part of our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. We need big, powerful voices that have passion and are willing to create change. We love this. Climate Action Committee, our wonderful Arlene Baxter is on today. She is the chair and has been championing, if you don't know Arlene, this is a huge passion for her. And I am equally as, I can't say equally, I don't know if anybody is, but I am learning so much from her. So if the climate, how it affects you, how it affects your family and your business, because it does, please consider joining the Climate Action Committee. It is a boatload of information. And you can also check us out on our Facebook page. We have a very engaged, active Facebook page with a ton of really great information. So definitely check that out. And our Young Professionals Network, that's where I got started in leadership. I have a little special place in my heart, and your president-elect, Felicia Mattis, is the chair for that. If you are a young or young at heart, newer professional in our industry, this is for you. This is a way for you to really connect with other realtors and affiliates and feel like you're a part of something bigger than just yourself. YPN is amazing. And of course, leadership. So, man, this is where I have a huge passion for. For my whole life, I've always owned businesses. I bought my first business when I was 24, and my whole goal was to create other people that I taught and trained to go out and create their own businesses. I ran a little salon shop. Some of you know it. unfortunately have to be a little bit older to know about it because it was a long time ago, but in Montclair, and I'm so proud to say I have 10 little salon owners in Oakland, successful, and have been driving business in Oakland for many, many years. I have been passionate about this forever. So now that I'm in a leadership place for you in Bridge, I am going to make the ask. If you need help or would like support in furthering your leadership journey, please connect with me. I will introduce you to all the committees in a deeper level. I will tell you a little bit about what it's like to be at CAR and NAR. I mean, I'm still kind of deer in the headlights, and we have some veterans here on this room. Thank you for taking time to be here that I can also point you to, and I know they're equally excited about it and would love to share their passion and their experiences. So if you really want to make a difference, if you really feel an urge to lead, guess what? Just by getting your license and being an active realtor, we are pretty much leaders in our communities. If you want to take it the next level, please let us know. Our committees, CAR and NAR, are definitely waiting for you. All right, so be sure to check out the Bridge website for events, courses, MLS and real estate education, realtor resources, a ton of stuff there, leadership opportunities and committees. I know, I keep saying it. And then, of course, how to register for all of them. If you haven't taken a look at the Bridge website lately, maybe you should take a moment and do that. So Helen, I want to get back to your questions. What specifically would you like to know about?
Well, hey, just give a shout out for your directors, because I know they work hard and most of us just don't know the hard work that they're doing.
Thank you for that.
I know we already have some folks in line to succeed you, though I wish you would stay for more years as president. And then as Divina kindly sent out, there's going to be an opportunity soon for people to sign up to be considered as directors. So just take it.
Yes. So the leadership journey is as long or as short as you would like it to be. And part of becoming a board of director, which I would highly suggest you do, it is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. You have to serve on committees. You have to have your at least your big and little toe wet to understand what leadership is all about. And committee work is really one of the best ways we have found that you can do that. And everybody has to start somewhere. So all of us at the board level started with committee work. And I would suggest that you do that as soon as possible. If you're a newer agent, you don't have 40 to 60 hours worth of real estate work yet. But why not take a look around you? We have 15 committees technically, but 13 for non-exec, and check out what you're passionate about and really start there. Start with one committee and get involved and make a difference and know that you're a part of something bigger and better than just yourself. And we're here to support each other. It's a wonderful feeling. So start your journey that way. And then once you hit the board level, what we do, and yes, Helen, you're so right. I have the best board that's ever existed ever. They are, not only are they passionate and excited, but they truly believe in what they're doing. And that they don't just show up and say yes to everything. We have conversations. We are here to make a difference for you. We're here to hear you. So please let us know. Because if we're guessing, it probably isn't going to be right. And if we don't hear anything, we're going to think we're fabulous. And that's just how it goes. So once you hit the board level, the work really is working toward becoming a traveling director, which means we're going to support you in the CAR and possibly NAR level. Maybe it's just, you don't want to do that so much because your family, business, or lifestyle doesn't allow for it. It's just not your thing. You can serve at the board level and be a part of other committees and serve in a much bigger, broader way. And most of my board members, well, I won't say most of them. Yeah, most of them been around for a while. They've either served on the board for a while, served on other boards for a long time, and they're incredibly well respected in their communities for a very good reason. They roll up their sleeves and they do the work. Being on a board is not for everybody. But neither is being a leader. But if that 20% of the population was the last statistic I saw, if you're part of that, this is a really wonderful way, and we will walk you on your journey. And because this is such a passion for me, that is going to be my past president positioning, is really bringing education and leadership pathways to light for Bridge again. So super excited about that. But yes, our board members are in it to win it, and we're here to make change and make a difference. And you can see that by all the work that we do, because they all serve on multiple committees, not just one. So they're very, very much about serving you and serving the community we serve together. Anything I missed, Helen? Because you've been around a minute.
No, you did a beautiful summary. Just tell us who are the officers that are coming on board?
Coming on board.
Yeah, in the future, who will be?
Well, so what we have now is the way it works for anybody who doesn't know. So the journey for exec is board member, and then we have treasurer, Lisa Dukelis, who's a wonderful woman who's coming to us from another association, but was also serving president at her association and has worked her way up at the CAR level, et cetera. So you can start out as treasurer, and then you move into president-elect. And right now, as I said, our president-elect is Felicia Mares, who I believe is going to be the youngest president to date. Am I incorrect, Divina?
You are not incorrect. I am still here.
Okay.
You are not incorrect. She is the youngest. She will be the youngest president we have had to date, actually. She
was 30 under 30 for Realtor magazine. She's CAR, NAR level for YPN. And she is an incredible leader at a very young age. And not only do we love her wholeheartedly, but we're super proud of her and everything that she's done. There is no, when you look left to right, up to down, because we're all in a Brady Bunch box, but there's no, what I love about real estate, there's no limit. There's no limit anywhere. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your education. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you want to go. There is no limit. So whether that's leadership or business, and I'm super excited about that. And that's where my mindset is all the time. So that is our incoming leadership. If you are wanting to be on the board, if you are really wanting to move up in the exec team, I wholeheartedly invite you to call me, email me. Divina, our CEO, is here. She's amazing, one of the best CEOs ever, and is nationally recognized for being so. Take advantage of it. There's a wealth of information. We also have 13 board directors that are very happy to take your call and tell you what it's like. And don't ask me to list all of them off, because I'm sure I'm going to miss somebody because I don't have them written down. But man, it's on fire. It really is. It really
Madam
is.
President, can I jump in for a quick second? And
Yeah.
I know that Arlena has a question, and I'm not trying to step on her toes. Arlene, if you'll allow me just a quick moment. I just want to kind of jump in and cover what you were being asked. So we are right in the process right now of preparing for nominating and for our elections. So we had our meeting last week, and the board of directors just approved our nominating committee. Our nominating committee has been appointed according to our bylaws. So we are now in the process of sending out applications. Unfortunately, my marketing person has been out of the office for the last 2 days due to illness. So it's delayed me a little bit. However, we will be putting together the applications. Those applications will be sent out to membership and to my current board. Those applications that we will be asking for are for those individuals that are currently interested in applying for board positions. We have 4 board positions that are going to be opening up For those that are qualified or interested in running for board positions that are both 2-year and 3-year terms. We also have those that are currently on the board that want to run for leadership positions. The leader positions that are currently available will be the treasurer position, which always is a 1 or 2-year position, depending if they want to ascend into the president-elect position. Currently, we do not have anybody who is officially putting their name in for the president-elect position, only because Lisa Dukellis, who is currently in the position of treasurer, also has another obligation that she is weighing options as to whether she will be available to step into the position of president-elect, because it is a 3-year commitment. So right now we're kind of in limbo as to who's going to step into that president-elect position after Felicia Matas. So that's where we're at this time, but our board was notified, and I know that there are going to probably be several people who are wanting to be candidates. So we will send out the information and the qualification guidelines for those who want to run. And that, again, as President Janine was saying, that you have to be an active member of a board, of a committee. And even if you came from, you served on committees at other associations, that time does count. And then we also will be accepting applications for those who wish, who might want to be a traveling director on the state level and such. So the only position that is not open that we would usually be applying for would be those for the national level, because that position has already been filled by our wonderful Tia Honeycutt. She will be our national director for 2023. So I hope I've covered all the questions.
Thank you. I didn't see that question, so thank you.
Yeah, well, that was kind of, I think, where Helen was heading for, and trying to understand who's in leadership, where our leadership is going and everything. So Helen, I hope I covered your question and got everything covered for what you were looking for.
Yes, Divina. And by the way, you are wonderful. And I thought I was just having you introduce things that other people didn't know, but I didn't know some of the things you said. So thank you.
You are so welcome. I the policy queen here. So thank you, Helen. And you know me, I always enjoy working with you, and it's always a pleasure to be representing this incredible association. So I will now turn my mic off, turn it back over to Madam President and Arlene Baxter.
You saved me as always. As always.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. I can't really see people right now. Are there any other questions?
Yeah.
Let's just
Arlene.
Yeah.
Arlene.
Oh, Arlene.
Yes, Janine. So
Yes,
thank
dear.
you. Thank you for mentioning our Climate Action Committee, and it is one of passion, and we have a great small group. We certainly could use more people. So if saving the planet, one house, one household, one neighborhood at a time is something that interests you, definitely talk with me. I put in the chat though, so here we are at the May Power Hour. Last month for the April Power Hour and Earth Month, our Climate Action Committee put together a really fabulous presentation about getting off your gas. We all need to be moving towards electric appliances and systems. We had a presentation from a real expert, very impassioned and knowledgeable,
It was great.
sharing some of the true health risks that are now very well documented of simply having gas in your home, especially both heating and cooking, even if it's not turned on. So lots of great information about new products, new systems, information about switching. You don't have to do it all at once. So there is a YouTube video, and I've put the link in the chat. So hope you'll check that out. And if you have any other questions, as Janine said, we have an active Facebook page. We're posting every week and would love your involvement if this is something that interests you. So reach out, and thank you so much, Janine, for all you do.
Thank you. So sorry. For some reason, the little black thing that comes up with mute and all that, it's just really delayed. So I'm like all over the place. Anyway, I'm just, that's why I wasn't seeing chats or anything. All right. Thank you for that. Any other questions? Wonderful, wonderful. So our board of directors has been taken on the task of inviting 3 new committee members. That's how excited we are about bringing on new talent, new excitement, new passion, new voices. So again, if you are thinking about joining committee and not quite sure, please know that you are more than welcome. We want people who are ready to roll up their sleeves and do the work. And when I say that, it can be anything from the hour meeting every month to every other month, because not all committees, in fact, most of our committees don't do anything outside of the committee work, the meeting itself, to the more social, I will say, committees like NTech and YPN and DEI. So wherever you are in your journey, we're here to push you a little further in the leadership direction. So definitely reach out. We're here to welcome you. Well, thank you for your time. You are why we are here. So what do you need? What are you missing? How can we help? You can contact me because I'm doing the presentation, but please, Bridge, again, has great support. We don't know what you need and what you want unless you tell us. Again, otherwise we're guessing and thinking, or we're thinking we're fabulous, which is, it's generally the direction we go. But please, we're here for you. And we need to know what makes you happy, what makes you tick, and what you need. So reach out. And again, thank you to Karen, Divina, and Emily. Thank you, Holly Bradford, thank you for saying thank you. Holly, she is our Ed and Tech chair, along with Judy Richardson. Really wonderful, passionate people. So thank you. And especially all you busy realtors taking your time out for an hour of Power Hour. Super appreciate your time and your interest in being here. So thank you, everybody. Go and have an amazing rest of your week. And I can't wait to hear from all of you around committee positions, curiosities, or what you may need or how we can help. So take care and have a fantastic day.